What if I told you that every time you failed, lost a job, watched a dream die, or felt utterly humiliated, you were handed a secret power instead of a prison sentence? Ancient Stoics called this the trial by fire. They believed that only in true hardship do we forge our character and awaken our greatest strengths. If only you can watch till the end, we'll peel back the mask of defeat and expose a truth most people run from. Failure is not your enemy.
It's the raw fuel that can launch you higher than any victory ever could.
Welcome to our channel, where we dive into the labyrinth of the human mind and unearth the wisdom of ages to solve life's toughest puzzles. If your heart beats for truth, wisdom, and self-growth, then this channel is your sanctuary. Subscribe, share your reflections, and let's journey together. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover how failure becomes your mirror, your forge, and, in time, your most loyal ally. We'll reveal the surprising steps to turn every setback into a story you can't wait to share. So lean back, turn off your phones, single-click escape, and let your failure become the spark that changes everything. You won't just watch this video, you'll live it. Failure as the mirror, seeing your true self. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. When we trip, stumble, or fall flat on our faces, it hurts. But in that moment of pain, a mirror appears, one that reflects our hidden fears, our unspoken dreams, and the cracks in our resolve. This mirror, cruel as it seems, is the first and most honest tool for transformation. We live in a world of highlights and filters. We see friends' successes on social media and hear stories of overnight triumphs. Yet behind each polished image lies struggle, sacrifice, and countless unseen defeats. Failure strips away the illusion. It forces you to face limitations you never knew existed. In admitting I am not perfect, you grant yourself freedom from others' expectations and from your own impossible standards. That small voice saying you're not good enough grows loud when you fail. But remember Marcus Aurelius' teaching. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Failure hands you the reins to confront and tame that critic. Every time you acknowledge a shortcoming, you weaken its grip. You learn to replace shame with curiosity. Why did I stumble here? What can I learn? In crisis, values shine bright. When goals collapse, you discover what truly matters. Is it recognition, security, creativity? By watching which parts of failure sting the most, you learn your deepest drives. Ancient Chinese wisdom tells us, a gem cannot be polished without friction. The friction of failure polishes your self-awareness. Once you know your true desires, you can set goals aligned with your authentic self, not with fleeting trends or others' visions. This alignment fuels perseverance. If your mission is clear, born from your own mirror, you'll treat future failure not as rejection, but as data guiding you toward a refined target. After each setback, write down your raw thoughts. Speak honestly with a friend or mentor about what's done. In stillness, watch your emotions rise and fall. Extract one key lesson and act on it within 24 hours. When you embrace failure's mirror, you stop hiding. You see yourself, flaws, talents, and all, and you become unstoppable. Because you work from genuine understanding. The fire of growth, igniting your resilience. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has become so demoralized as to wish for it, said Seneca. Failure is cold and stinging until you feed it the right fuel. Then it blazes into a fire that forges iron-strong resilience. The first blow feels like an ice-cold wave. Heart races, mind screams, but within that shock lies a spark, an opportunity to ignite willpower. Like blacksmiths toss red-hot steel into water to strengthen it, life plunges you into cold trials to temper your spirit. Epictetus taught his students to imagine the worst: losing a job, failing an exam, betrayal by friends. This practice, called premeditatio malorum, prepares you. When real failure arrives, you meet it with less surprise and more clarity. Your mind says, "I pictured this, I can handle it." You transform panic into purpose. Resilience is like any muscle. It grows with repeated stress. Each time you push through failure, submitting that rough draft, trying one more read of rejection letters, you accumulate strength. Ancient runners in Greece trained by carrying heavy packs. You train your character the same way, by carrying the weight of setbacks. Psychologist Carol Dweck calls it the difference between a fixed and growth mindset. In a fixed mindset, failure labels you. I'm a failure. In a growth mindset, failure informs you. I'm learning. To switch, replace "I failed" with "this didn't work yet." The word "yet" stretches time. It promises that skills wrap around obstacles rather than being blocked by them. Rituals to stoke the flame. Embrace discomfort to train willpower. Make daily affirmations. Declare your commitment. Setback is my teacher. Celebrate small wins. Finishing that chapter, sending that email. Share goals and failures with someone who pushes you forward. When fire burns bright, you become impervious to doubt. You learn that the hotter the trial, the harder you emerge. The catalyst of creativity, crafting innovation from defeat. In every crisis, doubt, or confusion, take the higher path, the path of compassion, courage, understanding, and love. Winston Churchill. Failure isn't just a teacher or a forge. It's a spark plug for creativity. When the well of comfort runs dry, your mind leaps to new streams. Edison famously said he found 10,000 ways that didn't work before inventing the light bulb. Each failure narrowed the field of possibilities. When a door slams shut, you look for another, often a window you never noticed before. The poet Rumi wrote, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." That field is your mind after a setback, wide open for fresh ideas. Tim Ferriss calls his method the minimum viable experiment. Try the simplest version first, learn quickly, iterate. When you accept that each attempt might flop, you free yourself to test wild ideas without fear. Paint with mismatched brushes. Write in half-formed sentences. Let failure guide each brushstroke or keystroke into something new. The Tao Te Ching tells us, "A tree as big around as your arm sprouts from a small shoot." Big breakthroughs often grow from tiny failures. Each imperfect draft or half-finished sketch is fertilizer for the next bloom of creativity. When you feel stuck, journal 3 what-if questions about your failure. What if this outcome shows me this isn't my path? What if I used this setback to pivot into something brand new? What if I collaborated with someone to fill my blind spots? These questions build creative bridges over the chasm of defeat. The Charter of Courage. How failure builds character. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it, said Molière. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. Failure hands you fear on a silver platter, and with it, your greatest chance to cultivate bravery. When we fail, shame often follows. Shame that whispers you're exposed. But the Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus counseled, we should practice smiling in the face of adversity. By embracing shame, Naming it and sharing it, you break its power. In doing so, you demonstrate to yourself and others that courage thrives in vulnerability. Each time you risk something, your ego, your comfort, you place a bet on yourself. Even if you lose, the act of betting shows you trust your own potential. A story from ancient Japan tells of samurai who would stand before their lords, sword drawn, and surrender to judgment. The risk of failure refined their honor. Your everyday efforts, despite doubt, refine yours. Define how you handle setbacks. Admit mistakes quickly. Treat others with kindness, even in frustration. Commit to action, not perfection. This personal code becomes your compass when storms hit. When you fail openly, you give others permission to try and fail too. Your courage becomes contagious. A Roman proverb says, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." By walking the path, missteps and all, you teach more than any flawless performance ever could. 5. The bond of brotherhood, connecting through shared struggle. Shared joy is a double joy. Shared sorrow is half a sorrow. We fear isolation when we fail. We imagine everyone else soaring while we sink. But in truth, failure is the greatest social glue, binding us in shared humanity. In medieval guilds, craftsmen would display broken tools to teach apprentices what not to do. In modern life, we hide our broken tools, our failures. When we confess honestly, we invite support. We learn that the greatest network isn't built on perfection, but on honesty. Pixar's brain trust sessions are famous. Team members give blunt feedback without blame. The rule: be candid but supportive. Adopt this in your circles. When you share a flop and invite critique, you turn solitary shame into collective wisdom. Stoics taught that we are all part of one universal community. Epictetus said, "We are waves of the same sea, leaves of the same tree, flowers of the same garden." When you share failure, you allow others to feel less alone. Empathy blooms, relationships deepen, and that bond becomes a reservoir of strength for your next challenge. When failure's fuel runs low, your tribe refuels you. Their stories spark your ideas. Their support fans your courage. Together, you transform individual embers into a roaring fire of shared progress. Failure stands at the gate of greatness, ugly, unwelcome, yet indispensable. From the mirror of truth to the fire of resilience, from sparks of creativity to charters of courage, and finally, the bonds of shared struggle, you can harness every setback as fuel for the next ascent. As the Stoic Hierocles taught, the obstacle on the path becomes the path. Embrace failure. Let it forge you, teach you, and unite you. Then watch as the world bends to the power of your redemptive rise. Your failure is not your end. It's the fuel that will carry you farther than you ever dreamed. If this video ignited a spark in you, share your biggest lesson from failure in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more ancient wisdom and modern insight, because your journey is just beginning.